Myself, Dr. Nitin Jain. I am a senior consultant neurologist in Sar Permanent Hospital, and I have more than 10 years of experience in dealing with epilepsy patients. I would be talking about epilepsy in general. Our brain is a complex organ made up of billions of cells called neurons. These are specialized brain cells with electrical interconnections between them. During the normal brain activity, there is movement of the electrical current in between these cells, through which our thought processes, our motor actions, they take place. Epilepsy is a disorder of these brain cells where there is a recurrent, sudden and episodic burst of excessive electrical activity which results in a change in the behavior of the person. However, seizure is one single such episode in which there is an abnormal electrical discharge in the brain, and epilepsy is a disease in which there is a tendency to have repeated such episodes. These episodes occur again and again and are unpredictable. Epilepsy can be classified into various types. Broadly speaking, we can say epilepsy could be generalized or focal epilepsy. Focal epilepsy occurs whenever there is an abnormal electrical discharge that originates from one particular part of the brain. And generalized epilepsy will occur whenever there is a generalized hypersynchronous discharge of electrical current in whole of the brain. It usually presents with a generalized motor manifestations, sometimes with manifestations involving the behavior of the person or his consciousness level. Focal epilepsy would usually present with focal motor phenomena in form of abnormal jerking of limbs on one side of the body, abnormal facial movements, or in form of maybe abnormal sensory phenomena. That is although rare. So epilepsy based on this motor phenomena or maybe behavioral phenomena in the person, we can have various such things happening in the patient, such as sudden staring spells, jerky movements of the arms and legs, stiffening of whole of the body. During this stiffening, there may be stiffening of teeth, producing tongue bite. There may be loss of consciousness. There may be abnormal sudden jerks in the body, such as myoclonic jerks. There may be sudden falling attacks where the person walking normally may sudden drop and then may immediately regain consciousness. These are called drop attacks or atonic attacks. Patient may become suddenly unconscious, or he may be unresponsive, although appearing to be conscious and alert, but he may be unresponsive, not responding to noise, words, or command for brief periods. The patient may not have any recall for these episodes, or while getting a staring look, there may be rapid eye blinking, as occurs in absent seizures. So during the seizure, there can be various phenomena that we can get to see. To make a diagnosis of epilepsy, you need to be seen in detail by a physician. A detailed history is required of these events, their frequency. The frequency may be very variable, ranging from one attack in a year to maybe multiple attacks, 50 or 100 attacks in a day. Based on that, the disease can become very disabling. The causes of epilepsy, broadly speaking, are different for people with different ages, and it could be either acute events such as brain hemorrhage or bleeding inside the brain, maybe a result of serious head injury, brain infections or tumors, injuries or tumors. So I am telling you about the causes of epilepsy. They can be broadly classified based on the age group in which the epilepsy starts. And in older age group, people may develop epilepsy by such acute events as brain hemorrhage, severe bleeding in the brain, or other types of strokes. It may be because of head injury, brain trauma, or infections. HIV infections, strokes, all these are common causes seen in adult population for epilepsy. In children, abnormal brain development, trauma during childbirth, or some familial epileptic syndromes may present with this kind of problem. In Indian subcontinent, neurocysticercosis is a common cause of epilepsy. It's in fact the most common cause of epilepsy. And tubercular infection of the brain is also another common cause for epilepsy, especially in children. The frequency of epileptic attacks can vary from less than 1 per year to several per day. This I've already talked about. And this also to an extent depend on the cause of the epilepsy. People with refractory epilepsy who are difficult to treat, they often have multiple seizures in a day, and that also brings to us an important concern regarding their management, because these are more difficult to treat as compared to those with low frequency of seizures. The usual trigger factor for an epileptic attack would be either forgetting to take medication, stress, or lack of sleep, sometimes hormonal changes in the body, such as during menstruation, illness both with and without fever, heavy use of alcohol, use of some other medication for other ailments. All these are common trigger factor for epileptic attacks in people with epilepsy. Sometimes, even in normal people, such trigger factors can produce seizure-like episodes, but these people are not suffering with epilepsy. They are having provoked seizures. They have to be managed separately and not classified as epilepsy. Epilepsy is usually diagnosed by a doctor with the help of information about the events that has happened before the attack, during the attack, and after the attack. The description of such events can be given to the doctor by the patient as well as the witness of the epileptic attack. Apart from this, a doctor can ask about your blood test, brain scans such as CT scan or magnetic resonance imaging or MRI scan, and an electroencephalography, EEG. These are the baseline investigations required for the diagnosis of epilepsy. Treatment, I would like to stress that epilepsy is a treatable and a manageable condition. If treatment is taken properly and regularly, the disability is almost minimal or none at all, and a person can lead a normal life. There are highly effective medications available for the treatment of epilepsy. They only need to be taken for a longer duration as compared to other disorders, and these medications, they have very minimal or no side effects at all. They are very well tolerated, and also the doctor can guide you in telling which medication is best for you. He can follow you up regularly. You need to take all the medications on a regular basis and also take precautions to prevent those trigger factors that will produce seizures. Most of the epilepsy patients, around 80%, they can be treated very well with medication. Only about 20% of the patient may be refractory to treatment by medication, and then there are other protocols that are used. We have surgery also available for treatment for refractory epilepsy. There are other therapies like vagal nerve stimulation, and a lot of things are in development for treatment of epilepsy. Many people who have had epilepsy have led a very active life. It's a disorder with high prevalence, but nobody can tell you that you are suffering from epilepsy. It does not produce significant disability if you are given proper treatment, guidance, and if you follow it properly. I take a stand against epilepsy.